We see some of what influenced Einstein in his early youth. Think of this young mind, contemplating unseen and immaterial forces, like that of the magnetic compass. It's like staring at the wide expanse of the horizon of the ocean, or the countless stars in the nighttime sky. You don't know where to begin. Because it cannot be visualized in its entirety, it's not quantifiable by the usual means of measure and thought. There's a sense of awe at the infinite.
We take delight in sensuous, infinite objects because we can think what the senses can no longer grasp and what the understanding no longer comprehends. And so nature has used a sensuous means to teach us that we are more than sensuous. We are not slaves subjected to the violence of sensations. The physical and moral man are differentiated here in the most striking manner, for it is precisely in such objects where the physical man feels his limits and the moral man experiences his power. The moral man is infinitely uplifted by the very thing which crushes the physical man to the ground.
At the age of 16, Einstein had an epiphany reflecting on Bismarck's famous motto that beer makes one stupid and lazy. Einstein vowed to become a theoretical physicist and henceforth become intoxicated on physics. This was the time at which Einstein started contemplating the unique nature of light, thoughts which resolved into the theory of special relativity. His intellectual curiosity not being satisfied by the German education system, which he believed deadened the free spirit through militaristic rote, he followed his family to Milan. Italy was a paradise of beautiful landscape, where he studied for the first time classical visual art, such as Leonardo da Vinci. Soon, he had to leave to Switzerland to finish up his schooling and attend college. This is where he settled down to become a clerk at a patent office in Bern.
The essence of someone's being lies in what they think and how they think, not simply in a biography of what they did. As we will see, Einstein's entire scientific career was a byproduct of his commitment to a higher, more meaningful reality. He never set out to simply solve a paradox. All his discoveries were only evidence obtained to test and come to know reality as a whole. How many people do we know whose one goal is to retire? What's driving them to make even one accomplishment or contribution to society, let alone many, with the only personal gain being the joy of being human? Through the unifying of electromagnetism and mechanics and special relativity, to a new theory of gravity based on the Riemannian curvature of space and general relativity, Einstein was always taking steps forward in the ultimate effort to create a unified field theory, a model to account for the microcosm and astrophysical effects of the world. Each of Einstein's revelations were not achievements to rest on. They were the overthrowing of previous conceptions that held him back from breaking further ground, a type of nonlinear evolution of thought. It's as if someone is digging a hole through a mountain to see what's on the other side, but they keep finding gold nuggets along the way. His discoveries were merely necessary accidents along the path to a higher goal of a theory of the world with the most simplicity that yet still relates as many different kinds of phenomena as possible. We best know Einstein for his work on relativity in physics, yet he worked in many branches of physical science, working in chemistry, studying biology, showing the existence and dimensions of atoms, investigating the nature of heat and other radiation, all cracks through which to view the final causes of the world. As a hunter who never settles for this or that animal, but is more interested in the art of hunting for that which you don't yet know.
It is open to every man to choose the direction of his striving. And also, every man may draw comfort from Lessing's fine saying that the search for truth is more precious than its possession.
In conversation with a young physicist expressing her desire to go to Paris for a change in surroundings, Einstein said, "I never look for that. I like Paris, but I don't want to go there, or anywhere. I don't like to learn a new language. I don't like new food or new clothes. I'm not much with people, and I'm not a family man. I want my peace. I want to know how God created this world. I'm not interested in this or that phenomenon, in the spectrum of this or that element. I want to know His thoughts. The rest are details." This hunt for God's thoughts lies outside the realm of mathematics and requires a certain instinct.
The fact that I neglected mathematics to a certain extent had its cause not merely in my stronger interest in the natural sciences than in mathematics, but also in the following peculiar experience. I saw that mathematics was split up into numerous specialties, each of which could easily absorb the short lifetime granted to us. Consequently, I saw myself in the position of Buridan's ass, which was unable to decide upon any particular bundle of hay. Also, my interest in the study of nature was no doubt stronger. True enough, physics also was divided into separate fields, each of which was capable of devouring a short lifetime of work without having satisfied the hunger for deeper knowledge. In this field, however, I soon learned to scent out that which might lead to fundamentals, and to turn aside from everything else, from the multitude of things that cluttered up the mind and diverted it from the essentials.
When Einstein is stalking a universal principle or a law of nature, an animal that has not been known to exist yet, there is no logical mode or formula of operation. Nothing can be predicted from experience. Insight can hit in a flash. It's as if being aware of a relation existing without knowing what it is. It won't let him quit. He's driven to seek out something, a pathway, he knows must exist, even though he's never experienced it.
Nobody who has really gone deeply into the matter will deny that in practice, the world of phenomena uniquely determines the theoretical system. The fact that there is no logical bridge between phenomena and their theoretical principles, this is what Leibniz describes so happily as a pre-established harmony.
What guides you over this non-logical gap between what the senses tell you and theory? How do you come to know the world? All the pieces are there, but do you have the hypothesis to draw a discovery from them? What's the sufficient reason why certain facts are one way and not another? In short, how do we come to a theory with the least amount of arbitrariness? Einstein would say that the connection between the empirically given, the realm of what we observe, to the conceptual world, the ideas and theories we use to come to understand them, is purely intuitive. That there's no logical analysis to explain how the mind understands the world outside of it. Therefore, imagination is more important than knowledge.
The mark of Einstein's unique personality and of how he thought can be expressed by his epistemological credo. There are two domains, one of the totality of concepts, the other of perceptions. Concepts only get their meaning through their connection to experience. Though this linkage is entirely intuitive, it's what separates scientific truth from fantasy. The structure of this conceptual system is a human creation, and its aim is to make a complete coordination with the totality of experiences, providing a glimpse of the marvelous structure of the world, and it is devoted to comprehend a portion of the reason that manifests itself in nature. Einstein's view of the universe and of the ethical society came from embracing the world, taking the infinite inside himself, forming the concept of the objective world as a one, and himself as a separate individual, like an outside participant of a drama. When he sees what's lacking in the material world, he strives to ennoble it to the ideal. Therefore, the science of Einstein's creativity lies not in mathematics, as how most people think of science, as some logically deductive system of a computer, but lies in a sense which is not sight, nor hearing, nor any other bodily organ. It lies in insight, a type of smell of what you cannot see or touch. An experiment is what you use to test and validate this insight, to show it as a reliable sense. There are an infinity of sense perceptions at any given moment, a confused, indifferent mosaic. The mind is that which provides